With 15,160 square meters of enclosed space, St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City is the biggest church in the world. Despite that size, it's not even a cathedral, but it is the stone of contention that helped to split the medieval church. More after this. The word cathedral comes from the Latin word cathedra, meaning seat. Hence, a cathedral is a place where someone sits. In case of most cathedrals, especially Roman Catholic ones, it is a bishop who sits there. But the bishop doesn't just sit around, the bishop runs his diocese, his area of responsibility from his seat in the cathedral, while the actual work associated with running the diocese is done from an office that is not necessarily in the cathedral. Rome, the eternal city, is a diocese of the Bishop of Rome, who is actually the Pope, who is the head of the Roman Catholic world. His cathedral is the Archbasilica of St. John in Lateran, which is close to the Colosseum in the middle of Rome, while his office is right next to St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. Even if St. Peter is neither the mother church of Roman Catholicism, nor the first church of Christianity, nor the cathedral of the Pope, it is nevertheless the church of all churches. If you think religious pomp and circumstances, no matter if you think salvation or corruption, you think St. Peter. The Basilica embodies the enormous fascination of organized religion, and at the same time it stands for the pitfalls of an ecclesiastical hierarchy that fell too deeply in love with its own importance and power. If you are an aficionado of Renaissance architecture, St. Peter is absolute ground zero. In 1505, Pope Julius II made the decision to demolish the old St. Peter's Basilica, a structure from the 4th century, and to build a new big superchurch. And it took 120 years and 21 papacies to finish the task and come up with the result that you see today. With St. Peter, the church went big, and big buildings come with big price tags, and especially a building that is filled to the rafters with art of the most exquisite quality. That building needs some serious financial genius to stay ahead of collapsing bottom lines. One ingenious scheme that helped to finance the church was a sale of Indulgences, the get-out-of-hell free card. It's salvation for a fee. Fear of God was used to extort money from the common people, which filled the papal coffers, that financed the building and the art of St. Peter, which in turn sparked the anger of Martin Luther, who kicked off the Reformation, which split the church in the West into Roman Catholics and a vast array of Protestants. St. Peter is a cultural heritage site like no other. But it is a cultural heritage site that came with a significant price. Not just money, but a spiritual price had to be paid. St. Peter is not the only reason the church split, but it is a carved-in-stone piece of theology that puts institutional power and pomp before people. Tradition has it that the grave of the Apostle Simon Peter lies beneath the basilica. He was a humble fisherman who followed the poor preacher as they traveled the dusty roads of the Holy Land on foot. They saw palaces of splendor like St. Peter only from the outside. God sent his Son and his apostle to the poor, to the destitute, the forgotten, the oppressed, and the hopeless. And that is always a good idea to remember that, Catholic or Protestant alike, when we are carried away by our own importance and the conviction that God does not love anyone beyond our walls. May those walls be built of stone or of good old-fashioned arrogance. And if you humble yourself, remembering who Simon Peter really was, then you can also enjoy the basilica that was named after him. So what is a church? A building or people? Let me know in the comments and click subscribe or give us a like or do both.